students, today we are going to discuss about biogeochemical cycle. The, nu- the nutrients elements derived from the earth by living organisms for their growth and metabolism are called biogeochemical cycle. It is also known as nutrient cycle. Next, it is divided into two groups. First is gaseous biogeochemical cycle, in which we discuss about the nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle and water cycle. Second is sedimentary biogeochemical cycle, in which we discuss about the sulfur cycle and phosphorus cycle. First, nitrogen cycle. Important processes in nitrogen cycle. First is nitrogen fixation. Atmosphere nitrogen cannot be used by plants and animals directly. It needs to get converted into nitrogenous compound. Example, atmospheric nitrogen react with the bacteria, which is rhizobium, converted into the ammonium. Nitrification. Because ammonia is highly toxic for some, that's why ammonia and ammonium is converted into nitrite and nitrate. Assimilation. Nitrate, nitrite, ammonia, ammonium are taken up from soil by plants, which are then used to form plants and animal proteins. Fourth, ammonification. Dead plants and animals, their waste contains organic nitrogen compound like CH3NS2, which when enter into the soil, fungi or bacteria convert it back to ammonia. Next, denitrification. In this process, nitrate is converted back into gaseous nitrogen. Denitrifying bacteria use oxygen of nitrates in anaerobic condition. There is a flow chart of the nitrogen cycle. Note, by lightening, some amount of atmospheric nitrogen is also converted into ammonia or nitrate. Next, carbon cycle. The series of processes by which carbon compounds are interconverted in the environment involving the incorporation of CO2 into living tissues by photosynthesis and its return to the atmosphere through respiration, the decay of dead organisms and the burning of fossil fuels. This is called carbon cycle, and this is the flow chart of the carbon cycle. Next, water cycle. In this process, seawater is evaporated in the atmosphere in form of vapor. Then vapor is converted into the precipitation. This is called condensation. And precipitation, that means water droplets enters into the rocks and run off in the seawater. And seawater and groundwater. This is called runoff water. And runoff water is enters into the groundwater through the soil. This is called infiltration. Percolation. Water flow vertically through rocks influence gravity. This is called percolation. This is the flow chart of the water cycle. Next, phosphorus cycle. This is so reactive, so it is related to the lithosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere, but not present in the atmosphere. In the phosphate cycle, phosphorus is mixed in soil in form of phosphate as a fertilizer, which consumed by the plants, and plants is eaten by animals. Next, when animal is dead, then break down by the decomposers and change into the decomposer change it into the nutrients, and phosphate is again mixed in the soil. This is called phosphorus cycle. The last one is sulfur cycle. The sulfur cycle main reservoirs is rock, oceans, etc. The sulfur cycle is the collection of processes by which sulfur moves between rocks, waterways and living systems. Such biogeochemical cycles are important in geological because they affect the minerals. Next, sulfur is also responsible for the acid rain. So, oxide and NO2 gas are more responsible for acid rain. The pH value of the acid rain is 3 to 4. Here is some reaction like 2SO2 plus O2 and S2 make S2SO4 acid. NO2 plus O2 and S2 make 4HNO3. Acid rain we can say that due to the volcanic eruption, factories waste, power plants, etc. Next, diversity. Biodiversity word is given by G. Rosen in 1968 and biodiversity definition is defined in 1992. Bio means life, diversity means variety of and variability. The term biodiversity is defined as the variety of plants and life in a particular habitat. Biodiversity, species biodiversity, ecological or ecosystem biodiversity, and last one is community biodiversity. First, genetic biodiversity. It describes the variation in the number and types of genes as well as chromosomes present in different species. The magnitude of variation in genes of a species increase with the increase in size and environmental parameters of the habitat. Second, species diversity. It describes the variety in the number and richness of the species which in a region. The species richness may be defined as the number of species per unit area. Third is ecosystem diversity. It describes the assemblage and interaction of the species living together and the physical environment a given area. Last one is community diversity. Community diversity is divided into three types. First is alpha diversity. It tells the species diversity in a given community. It depends upon species richness and evenness. Beta diversity. It describes a range of communities due to the replacement of species which arises due to the presence of different microhabitat and environmental condition. Last one is gamma diversity. It describes diversity of habitat over a total landscape or geographical area. Thank you, class.